Hi, we're going to do an investigative look at these earthquakes on the Georgia-South Carolina border, about 20 miles north of Augusta, Georgia. And Augusta, Georgia is where Augusta National is, and that's where they have the Masters Golf Tournament. It says this is the second strongest earthquake since 1950. Well, it wasn't a 4.1, it was a 4.4. And it says it could be felt throughout South Carolina and Georgia. Social media. Because the news isn't going to give us the right thing. The media does not want us to know that Jesus Christ is about to come back, and to know what time that we are living in. This particular earthquake, or this swarm of earthquakes that's about to happen, was predicted, and I'll get into that later, on February 8th, predicting a line, and I'll prove that that she is correct, that her prophecy is correct. And they said that this earthquake sounded like a train coming. The whole ground shook. Kind of felt like the whole house was swaying. This stuff was felt between Columbia, South Carolina, and Atlanta, Georgia. And this is not a normal earthquake. Look what this Dale Grant says. This was a big one, relatively speaking, and because it was shallow and covered a large area. Others says a typical 4 can be as much as 60 miles away. Another article says that it's 25 miles away due to the sandy surface. Ground surface, and it can be felt further. Well, that doesn't explain Atlanta, which is somewhat hilly elevation changes and of rocky construction. Certainly plenty of the Georgia red clay and things getting knocked over. And even in Augusta, Georgia, which we'll get into later, on that same Masters Golf Tournament golf course, they're some 20 miles away from the epicenter. They had a water tower, they say burst. It kind of cracked open at the seams, and we even have an eyewitness account from of the shaking going on from a restaurant, which is 1,000 feet from where the earthquake is. And so we have this somewhat major quake going on, and here's the first one, which was a 4.4, not a 4.1. And here's your distances and so forth, and there's your time of 10:23. And then we have a second one, which was at 3:23, which is kind of interesting. Just 3 seconds difference in being a round hour towards it. Here you can see Clarks Hill Lake, the epicenter here, about 20 to 22 miles from, there's North Augusta and then the 2 other towns. And here's the Savannah River in Georgia and South Carolina. And here in Clarks Hill Lake, or Lake Thurman Lake, they have the Thurman Dam, which they said didn't get any damages. Well, if there was a light earthquake, why would they check it to begin with? And apparently there's 2 dams here, and people are also forgetting down in this whole area. You have the Savannah River site, Plant Vogel, and all kind of nuclear things that this could have been affected by, and they're all within the 60-mile range. Okay, we're still on the second one. I paused it for a second. And then we have a third earthquake. It says the 15th, and there was our universal time mistake. And when you use, I'll get into that a little later, you use MapQuest, it does show a little red dot where the actual site is, and which is very close to the South Carolina location. But when then you get directions, guess what happens? It takes you all the way down to someplace west of Savannah, Georgia. So now to continue on, we go to the from the web page that showed the Georgia earthquake, and you click on the Google Maps, and it brings this up, and it shows the location of where the earthquake was. But when you switch to get driving directions, and I use the Olive Garden since it was 1,000 feet from that water tower that leaked. Here it brings up your driving directions to this is someplace in Alamo, Georgia, some 126 miles away, and that's probably where they've got their that it was a Georgia quake, even though the major towns and so forth were in Georgia. It's right on the boundary. And here I'll show you what I found in Alamo, Georgia. Okay, I decided to go back to this web page. Notice February 15th for the strong earthquake, and you can get this web page if you want to look at it yourself. And then it says 5.4, and you click on that right here, this map, that'll bring up, see how it says Georgia, US way, the 15th. Let me hit pause on that, and that's how you get it. It'll take you to Google Maps, and the destination in Alamo, Georgia. It's just a road, but I panned up on Google Maps from the ground level, and it's 3090 in Chick in Road. Is that Chick in the Road, meaning the Bride of Christ in the road? And look at the picture of the sun. You can see, I don't know, it looks like chemtrails coming from it, or maybe even the rays of the sun, but it looks really weird. There's really not that much clouds around, but I thought, well, he pointed me to look at this, and sure enough, I found this, and quite, it's kind of pretty. Jesus is the Son of God, and the sun god worshippers, but even in the false religions, there's a shred of truth, and I thought that was quite interesting. Okay, so we're back at in Augusta, Georgia, and the interview that you'll see coming up about the lady from the Olive Garden is 1,000 feet. This is, I think I have it later. I can give you the link in the description box. This is the water tower on the Augusta National golf course, right off Washington Road, and this is the side street. You can see the green fence to keep people from watching the game, and you can plainly see how it burst. And Dabu, either 77 or 77, you can see he has a video on this, and they tried to disprove him with another water tower, either in Savannah or Statesboro, Georgia. And this is from the Twitter, and I'll be showing you the news feed here in just a minute. And here is from MapQuest, and here's the Olive Garden showing that it's 0.2 miles. Same green fence, and I always thought it was kind of a light brew, but this is a major, the only water tank on Augusta National, and even the pilots use it to see where the golf course is when they're flying over it going into Daniel Field. And let me see, I'll pull that up. Let me pause it for a second. Okay, we're back on MapQuest. I went from the Olive Garden. It's showing 25 miles to, that was the epicenter down there, and it's about 20 miles. And then the second earthquake, the 3.2, the other location, I got that mapped out. It only was a mile apart. And the fake earthquake is, here's Savannah, is down here somewhere. And here's that famous 33-degree parallel that the Illuminati and the occult and the Freemasons like. And there's Aiken, and there's Augusta. And so you can see it's kind of along these ley lines, this ley line. And even Roswell, New Mexico is even on that ley line. Okay, I found the clip. I'll go ahead and play that. clip from a previous attempt to make a video, and it's off of Washington Road, and you can get the Twitter clip there if you want to find it, and you notice that it's kind of burst, and they said it was from it freezing and different things. Well, Augusta, Georgia does get freezing temperatures, so it would have froze long before that. And I mean, look at the stuff coming out. It's right at the seams where it's bolted together, so if it's knocking plates around, 60 miles away, it can certainly shift this, 20, 22 miles away. So let's see to the next. I can. There we go. Okay, before going to the next video, I've decided to show the next clip, which is the lady ByHisGrace Channel. She does this channel and predicted these earthquakes, and here's the map of the first earthquake, and I'm going to hit play here. So you might hear me talking twice. So let me hit play here. A lady. She does the ByHisGrace Channel, and this is February 15th, and she does this video where she predicts earthquakes, and a line drawn from Georgia all the way up, and here's the she's got a split screen, the epicenter there near Edgefield, South Carolina, which is just on the other side of the border, and that this is predicted. This is the beginning of judgments. In this video here on the left, she says it was due to the big churches in Georgia going the wrong way, and I believe it's for various other reasons in addition to that, but that's the personal aspects why I'm doing this video, because I'm from Augusta, Georgia, and these towns are very significant to me, and the beginning of judgment just happens to start there, and that's just for, well, my personal confirmations and everybody else's confirmations. But here's her video on the proving that she forecasted these, and I'll go ahead and play that.
Okay, so over here is, this is the video that I did on the vision. The vision earthquakes forming inland on the east coast of the USA of America, and here's the date of January 8th, 2014. So all is done in order. He also told me to play a portion of this here. So let me play this for you. This area here. Okay, starting from the top, a series of earthquakes will start developing within this line. This is not the first time that the Lord has given. Okay, I just wanted to briefly have you hear that so that you understood what this red line was, as I'm showing you on this video. So with the vision that he gave me, it was a series of earthquakes coming along this line. Now if you notice, this map is a little bit more enlarged than this map. But this earthquake that went off here is in the same location of where this red line is. So as I went back into prayer, I went, okay, Lord, I understand now, what you're trying to show me as far as the exact locations.
Okay, she predicted. Okay, that came out pretty good, hopefully, because I had done another video and it didn't come out quite well. Okay, I finally got it queued up. You got to see my desktop with all the junk on it. It says, water tower leak seems coincidental during an earthquake. Oh, really now? More government cover-ups, media cover-up. They all work for the Illuminati, and they're all corrupt. So I'll go ahead and hit play for you.
The tower is safe, so there's no concern whatsoever. It's just a bizarre coincidence tonight on that water tower leak. following an unusual minor earthquake
Right,
in
and
the southeast.
that information from a disaster coordinator on the scene, so not just someone who was a witness there. That's some official word tonight about the situation.
That's a relief, and we can things to worry about.
So at this point, this is the only report of damage that we're not even certain and probably thinking isn't damage. So at this point, we're better off than we thought.
And really, with the 4.4, typically the damage is right at the epicenter. It's not like, I mean, all the way here. I mean, it did shake, and you would have thought, you know, the roof was coming off the house or something, but it's not. I mean, it's this thing occurred way up there. For you folks around northern Edgefield County, I'm sure you felt it pretty good there, and there might be some minor damage there, you know, out in the middle of the woods.
Everything's okay, folks. Just go back to sleep. You don't really know what you're talking about, and everything is okay, and just a load of garbage. And just a 4.4 at the epicenter. Well, if it's felt 60 miles away in Atlanta, or another 60 miles the other way in Columbia, South Carolina, this is a moderate earthquake, and they're just a bunch of liars. And we'll get into the, I'm going to queue up the next clip, and I'll be right back. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys one more time. They're saying this is coincidental. You see the legs on this thing, and look at the water coming out of this thing. It obviously is, you know, the level to one side, and it's spilling out because that's where it cracked from the earthquake. I mean, 60 miles away, knocking dishes over and doing different things, and obviously it's going to be stronger than in other places, but let's pull that up.
Yeah, we're out here right now, like you were saying earlier, Meredith. Luckily, we have not had any reports of any injuries. All the structures seem to be fine. I have put a call into D. Copenhaver, the mayor, to see if he's heard anything. Also, in a call to the Sheriff Richard Roundtree. I haven't heard back from them yet, but as soon as we hear something, we'll be sure to let you know. But as of right now, we don't have anybody hurt. We don't see any structural damage down here in downtown Augusta. And kind of like you just saw that guy, people are acting like nothing happened. Now, I do want to bring in Sasha Caldwell in here real quick. Sasha, you were eating dinner. You lived in Georgia your whole life, and it was like something that you said you never felt before, right?
Yeah, it was something I never felt before. It was very weird. Like you said, I was at Olive Garden. I was with some friends, and we were just sitting there just talking.
And what are you seeing? I mean, are you seeing things shake on the wall? Is the ground moving under you? What are you seeing? What are you feeling? And it was almost like you didn't even know what it was at first, right?
You're right. I really didn't know what it was. It was like glasses shook a little bit, and then one waiter even like dropped her little
her serving tray.
Her serving tray. Yeah, dropped her serving tray, and we were just shocked. Like, what was that? But it was.
And it's almost crazy to think, I mean, just a couple of days ago, folks, like Meredith and Richard were telling you, we had that ice storm, now we have this earthquake. But again, you know, luckily nobody was hurt. We're not seeing any structural damage right now from downtown Augusta. Folks are still kind of acting as if nothing happened. I think some of them haven't even realized what happened. We're going to stay on the phone. We're going to keep calling the officials here in Augusta to find out what has happened, if anybody has been hurt. But we'll be sure to let you know as soon as we hear anything. And also make sure you stay.
Just more stuff from the elite, and they don't want you to know what's going on. It's almost comical. Yes, it was only 1,000 feet from the water tower, but you know, something in motion stays in motion, and you know, this is just incredible at the downplaying. Let me cue up the next thing. Well, just about to finish up here, and there it comes back. These things seem to happen in parallel. As you know, some of the prophecy shows America will be split once Israel, Obama decides to sign off and carry to split the United States. Looks like it'd go right down. And they just had a earthquake in Guthrie, Oklahoma, a 4.2, and of course there's the 3.2, the second one. Getting raptured out and being the bride of Christ is all about having a personal relationship with Jesus Christ and receiving the Holy Ghost. And Jonathan Kleck just did a video, Barack 2014, It's a Trap. And a lot of the things that the New World Order and so forth have planned for us, all this media coverage is a trap, because perfect love casts out all fear. And you know, whether it's whatever's coming, run towards it. Don't run away from it. It's a trap. And Obama the Antichrist. This is kind of funny and a good note to end the video on.
But America does not stand still, and neither will I. So wherever and whenever I can take steps without legislation, that's what I'm going to do.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Admiral, we have enemy ships in Sector 27. It's a trap.
Thank you, state. Thank you, state. Thank you, state.
Our journey is not complete until our gay brothers and sisters are treated like anyone else under the law.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and end my first video and be looking for the judgments to befall and more earthquakes. Talk to you later if I can learn how to shut off this video. See ya.